If you want to step into the CEO role of your business in 2021, you're going to want to stick around for today's episode where I'm going to be talking about the most important thing that you can do and master in your business, which is how to outsource and get other people to do those menial tasks, those non-money making activities so that you can focus on making money and bringing clients in. There's a whole world out there of people that need you to serve them. You are now investing your time and your energy, and you are stepping up to be that person and that woman who makes investments like this, who takes her business seriously, who's willing to go all in, who is driven, who is ambitious, who is going to make shit happen no matter what.
This is Meant for Millions. Here's your host, Jenna Faith.
Hello, and welcome to Meant for Millions, the podcast for online entrepreneurs who want to create wealth and freedom with their business. You are in the right place if you're looking for the mindset and strategy to get seen, known, and paid online. I'm your host, Jenna Faith, success and mindset strategist for entrepreneurs who want to leave a legacy, create a movement, and build a wildly profitable business. Make sure that you join us each and every week where you'll get a short 15 to 20 minute training on how to build wealth from the inside out. There is absolutely no fluff here. You'll get a little bit of strategy, a whole lot of mindset, and a healthy dose of tough love with 100% authentic, raw and real advice on how to navigate this crazy world of entrepreneurship. So in today's episode, I'm going to be diving into how to outsource in your coaching business. One of the things that we talked about last week's episode was working on the wrong things. Now, how do we get those things that need to be done in our business, but don't need to be done by us? Who do we get to do them? How do we outsource? How do we find the best ways to do this and the best people to do this? That's what we're diving into today. Let's go ahead and get started. What we're going to be talking about is outsourcing, and it's one of my favorite things to talk about and one of my favorite things to do in my business because it frees up so much time, takes away so much stress. And a lot of times I know, especially when we're just starting our business, we feel like we can't afford it or, we'll do it later. We'll do it when we need it. And my best advice is always to hire someone before you actually need it. So that way you're not running around. That way you're not scrambling. That way you're not hiring the wrong people because you're in a bind. So I definitely recommend for all of you to have at least a VA. A VA is a virtual assistant, somebody that can help you with smaller tasks, someone that can do your social media, perhaps do your emails, just kind of those smaller things that technically you should not be doing as a business owner. I attended a seminar once and I heard this quote that will just stick with me forever. And I want to share it with you because I think it's so important. And basically the quote was that no CEO should be doing something that can be outsourced for minimum wage. So I'm going to repeat that. No CEO should be doing any task that can be outsourced for minimum wage. So if you're doing things like updates on your website or, scheduling your social media, those are tasks that you can hire someone literally $5, $10 to do, except that now you're taking that and you're taking your valuable time and spending it on doing those little tasks. So like I said, I totally understand, that you may be feeling like, I don't have the money to hire someone right now and I'm just going to do everything by myself. But this is where our to-do lists get crazy. This is how we feel. This is why we feel like we're not getting anything done because we're too busy working on these little small tasks that we shouldn't be working on, these tasks that aren't making us money, that aren't leading directly to a client. So I would rather see you do more of those money-making activities, sales pages, going out and actually making offers, creating offers, talking to clients, webinars, things that are actually going to bring in a client. That's what you should be focusing on because that's what's actually going to move the needle forward. Everything else can be outsourced. The other part of this, and this is where I struggled, is the control. We feel like we don't want to release that control of like, oh, I could do this better than somebody else, or it's just easier for me to do it than to try to teach someone how to do it. So I get it. That's exactly where I was in the beginning. High achiever, go-getter. I was just like, I can do everything, And my to-do list was like 30 things long. There was just so many things on there because there was just so many little things that I technically should not have been doing. Once I started outsourcing, that's when I really felt like, wow, I actually have time to, number one, enjoy my business, and number two, actually do the things that are going to move my business forward. So this is my challenge to you, is to really think about all of the things that you're doing on a daily basis. And should you, as the business owner, as the CEO, really be doing those tasks?
write down everything that you're doing in your business, from like the littlest thing to like the big things. What are those things that you're actually doing? And then I challenge you to look through and say, which ones of these can I outsource? Which ones of these can I give to somebody else to do? The very first thing that I outsourced was my social media. I was spending at least 2 to 3 hours on Sundays loading up my Hootsuite with all of my social media, my quotes, and all of that stuff. And, it was just so time consuming. And while it helped me with visibility and it helped me get my stuff out there, it really wasn't directly bringing in clients. So that was one of the first things that I outsourced. And it's been amazing. It was so amazing that I just started outsourcing everything. And then within like 2 months, I had hired an OBM, someone to actually take care of like my client care stuff, my payments, my invoices. So there's so many different people you can hire in your business. But like I said in the beginning, I do feel like you should at least have a VA, which is a virtual assistant. Somebody can help you with those smaller tasks that you shouldn't be doing. Couple things. Think about those tasks. Think about like the social media. Maybe you're updating things on your blog. Maybe you are sending out newsletters or sending out reminders, setting up phone calls, setting up webinars. All those things are the things that I have my VA do for me. So I don't even see them. Reminder emails, things like that. Why? I shouldn't be doing that. It doesn't matter. It's not going to move the business forward. So those are the types of things that you can outsource. Like I also said in the beginning, when to hire, when should you hire, right? It's not when you have the money. It's not later. It's typically now. It's typically before you get into that place or your business gets so busy that you need someone. So always hire before you actually have the need to hire someone. How do you find people? That's a question I get a lot. One of the biggest mistakes that I made when I first started hiring was I just kind of put stuff in the Facebook group and said, hey, I am looking for a VA or I'm looking for an OBM. And I would get all of these people who, put their name in the hat. They are so great. I'm amazing. I'm wonderful. Ended up with people that weren't that great, right? So now what I do is I always go for recommendations. So I go to somebody that I trust, a peer, a mentor, a friend, someone that I really trust, and ask their opinion. Who have you worked with personally? So this is a great way. So referrals are always the top of my list for when it comes to who to hire. Don't just post in the Facebook group because everyone's going to play themselves up like they're amazing. And I've heard so many horror stories with VAs that you really want to take someone based on a recommendation. There's websites out there that, are more controlled and people have to put in their profiles and they get rated by their customers. So Upwork is a really great one. Hire My Mom is a really great one. So there's things out there where you can actually hire people and just pay them per task. That's what I love about a VA. You're not locked into any kind of contract. You're not out there, saying, hey, I'm going to pay you $2,000 a month. It's like, no, here is the task. And basically you're only getting charged for however long it takes them to do the task. So finding someone who's fast is also key. One more thing I want to talk about is your expectations and your ask. When you go to hire someone, my recommendation is to take that list, the sheet that I told you to make with all of the tasks that you do and which ones you can outsource. And when you're talking to someone to hire them, just ask them, hey, here are the things that I need to be done. Are these things that you can do? Number one. And number two, how long will it take you? So at least you have an idea of how many hours you're going to be working a week. Like it could vary, maybe 1 or 2 hours, but the reality is like you should know up front, like, hey, I'm hiring you for about 5 hours a week or 10 hours a week, whatever it is. So always go to them, give them your list of tasks and your expectations and ask them straight up, are you able to do these things? Are these things that you are good at? And number two, how long does it take you to do these things? So those are my tips for outsourcing. Like I said, highly, highly recommended because if not, you're going to just be drowning in your to-do list. You're going to be drowning in all these things you think you have to do for your business when really someone else can do it. And you can focus on those money-making activities, getting people on the phone, hosting webinars, doing live streams, things that are going to directly result in someone working with you or seeing you and potentially wanting to work with you. So to be honest, I really feel like everything can be outsourced. Everything. I mean, even up to copy. I don't outsource my copy because that is a way that I like to communicate and that's how I connect with my audience. But lots of people even outsource their copy. They outsource their graphics. They outsource pretty much everything except for their, client interaction and webinars and things like that. So If you have any questions about where to find a VA, I also have a really great recommendation. So
that's it for today's episode. I want to thank you so much for tuning in and take action. As always, take action. Begin to look at some of those activities and some of those projects that you can start to outsource so that you can really step in and become that CEO of your business in 2021. If you are loving the show, make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss an episode. And please, if you are really, really loving the show, share it, but also leave us a positive review on iTunes. This will really help me get in front of more amazing people just like you who are committed to creating incredible change and transformation in the world, and who are also committed to creating wealth and freedom with their life, with their business. So make sure that you come back next week where you'll get another quick bite episode on how to build your business from the inside out.
Let's keep this conversation going. Join us in the private discussion group, The Ambitious Babe, where ambitious, driven online entrepreneurs go to get the mindset and strategy to grow and scale their online empires. Join The Ambitious Babe at jenscalia.com/tribe.